Hi, my name is Stephanie Robbins and I'm with Robbins Plumbing, and today I would like to discuss with you when it is the best time to either repair your faucets and your shower valve or to go ahead and replace your faucets and shower valve. So your faucets, I'm referring to your kitchen faucet, your bathroom faucets, and by your shower valve, I am referring to the valve that is in your wall. You typically are going to see just on the front side what looks like a faucet, and some clients call it a shower faucet, but it is called a shower valve or your tub valve. And in a throwaway world, it can be very tempting to say, oh, I'm just going to buy a new one. Or it can also be tempting to say, I'm going to fix this one rather than replace it with a new one. And both can have consequences. So we want to go over that today. When are your best options? When should you be looking to really fix something versus replace something? So there are, of course, some variables to this decision. So one is age. And if a faucet or a shower valve is up there in age, and by age, I mean the 80s called and they want it back. Yeah, that's a thing. So it really is also going to depend not just on the age, but the water quality, how well things have been maintained in their lifespan. So, you know, a home from 1980s, if you have a faucet that's leaking, it's probably better to go ahead and replace that faucet than to try to find parts that are 30 years old, maybe don't exist anymore. How long is that repair going to hold? How many times has it leaked in that lifespan? So age is the first consideration that we discuss with clients for their options. How old is the faucet or the shower valve, and is it worth putting repairs into and spending, you know, several $100s to fix it just to have it leak again in a certain, you know, period of time and have to keep spending that money? So age is also a thing, as well as if you already don't like the appearance of your faucets and shower valves, why put something, you know, money into something you don't like? No, you're going to do it multiple times. So eventually you're going to find yourself, oh, I'm going to get that new faucet that I just saw on build.com or whatever, and I love this faucet. And then you find yourself, oh, but I just put $300 into fixing that faucet. Well, that $300 could have gone into buying a new faucet that you love. So age, if you still love it or not. And if it's leaking currently, so that's the big call we get, is where my faucet's leaking or my shower valve's leaking or water won't stop coming out of my shower head or my tub spout is constantly dripping. Those aren't problems with your shower head or with your tub spout. That's a problem with the shower valve itself. Inside of the wall are the parts to that. So when it won't stop leaking from the shower head or it won't stop leaking down from the tub spout, it's a problem with the shower valve itself. And that's where it's like, do I fix it if it's leaking or do I replace it if it's leaking? Again, look at that age. Do you still like the shower valve, or do you want to update it with something more modern? And the other thing is, how long has it been leaking? So this is the third biggest question we ask clients before we help them invest their money in how they're going to take care of their issue is, how long has this been dripping? Has it been on the honey-do list for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? What happens when you allow these little drips to keep going is not only do they aggravate you, they eliminate your possibilities. So what happens if you allow a valve to keep leaking, whether it's your kitchen faucet, bathroom faucet, or your shower valve, that water is escaping by and it's eroding the valve body within inside the unit. So where you're not seeing it and it's constantly got water going and water going and water going, it is going to etch the valve body inside of the faucet, inside of the shower valve, and it's going to make repairs almost impossible. So we'll actually have clients sign a waiver if they choose the option of, I'm going to attempt to repair something and we know it's been leaking for a couple of months. We're happy to do that for our clients. but we also have to educate them that this may not work. So going the cheaper option may end up costing you more money because that repair won't hold. The valve body is no longer good enough, or it won't hold for a long period of time. And they're calling us again in 6 months that it's leaking again. And it's always our goal to solve a problem for our clients permanently. We want to do it right, and we want to do it once. But we understand that budgets are a concern. So if a client does decide, I want to try to repair this, we're happy to do that. But the best option at that point is always replacement, because the risk of that valve body being damaged and that repair holding, it's really a flip of a coin a lot of times. So if you're looking outside of your faucet and you see hard water buildup and things like that, well, the inside of that valve looks 10 times worse. And it really is one of those things where you cosmetically see on the outside something that you either like or don't like, but it's really what's on the inside that matters. And this is especially true when it comes to our faucets and fixtures. Inside, what we don't see is what's holding everything together. So if your faucet has been leaking and you've been, I'm gonna call the plumber, I'm gonna call the plumber, I'm gonna call the plumber, and it's been going on for longer than a month, really is when you really want to super consider, instead of trying to go a cheap route and saving money on fixing something that won't hold, is replacing it. So it is a permanent hold. So water quality is also another consideration. Hard water destroys plumbing, absolutely destroys it. So if you don't have any kind of softening system on your home, whether it's a salt system, a salt-free system, if you have hard water to your home and your faucets are leaking, and it's going to become a repetitive issue. Hard water is just going to destroy the insides of those faucets. So it's a lot of times been our experience that if you have hard water, let's eliminate the hard water issue so it doesn't continue to create problems. But that's also a time when you want to consider that the inside of that valve has been going through a hard water situation its entire lifespan. It's probably better to go ahead and replace versus attempting to rebuild. The other time that you really want to consider that is things are really hard to turn on and off. So this is something that we hear from a lot of clients, is not necessarily that something's leaking, but it's really hard to use. That's another sign that the insides have been eroded with hard water and minerals and things like that, and it's an indicator that that valve time is about to go. So if there's something that you love, you've had your eye out on, new finishes are out, there's just lots of options. But I will say that not everything should be replaced. If your faucet or valve body, is under 5 years old, or if you have good water conditions and let's say it's even under 10 years old, then absolutely we should try to rebuild it, make sure the parts are still available, especially if you have a name brand like Delta, Moen, Price Pfister. A lot of those companies still have parts readily available, and some of them still have lifetime warranties. So you can get those parts sent to you, and then it's just the cost of the plumber putting them all in correctly. So it isn't always a replacement versus repair situation. It's just something where you really want to consider, what is my water quality? How long has this been leaking? What is my water pressure? And do I still love this thing? Those are, really things to weigh out. Something as well to consider is if you plan to move within, let's say the next 6 months, as much as it's nice for that new homeowner to have new plumbing fixtures, personal taste really affects that. So something that you love may not be something that the new homeowners love. So it's just something to make them aware of, that this has been fixed recently, but they should budget to, replace it with something that they like when they move in and make it their castle. So if you have questions on whether you should repair your valve, replace your valve, or you want to do an update and let the 80s have their faucet back, by all means, please reach out to our office at 623-486-4657 or on our website at robinsplumbing.com.